Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Cubs on Tap. We are here to recap tonight's Cubs loss to the Brewers 6-3. I'm Cody. You can follow me on Twitter at Cody on Tap with my guy, Joe Kilgallen. Follow him at Joe Kilgallen, who just gained like 40 followers today thanks to tweeting out another video from yesterday's show.
I imagine you cut that up, right, Cody? So thanks for putting that into a clip.
I did, and I just wanted to share it because I wanted to get the vibes right going into tonight's game. Unfortunately, the Cubs didn't do their part with that, but that was the idea. It was like, hey, it's still early. We should, still think positively a little bit. Because yesterday I was very pessimistic after yesterday's loss, and you and Juice and Ron kind of flipped me back, and the Cubs, like I said, they didn't help. They didn't do their part tonight, man. And I don't know where to really start. I guess we can start with Adbert if we want to talk about the positive stuff.
Yeah, no, we can lead off with the positive. And if the people listening don't understand what they're talking about, Garrett from Iowa is here for all 162, but holy fuck, I get it, Garrett. We're going to address all that. So yep. There was a clip of me from the podcast yesterday that we posted today. So follow, if you're not following already, hit that follow button. And basically in which I was calling out the Cubs fans who are negative 100% of the time. And I've been seeing them for years. And I was reminded of it in today's game when Hader came in to face Jason Hayward. Remember Jason Hayward had that big home run against him last year?
Yep.
And then Vargas fouled with a home run. It was a big win for the Cubs. That whole game, Cubs fans were shitting on the Cubs Twitter. Most, not all, most was shitting on the Cubs. Then when they won, they were all acting like, yeah, I never doubted you. We believed. And I'm just like, no, you don't get to do that. And it's okay. Look, if you're one of those fans that just feels the need to, when you see something bad happen, go on Twitter and say bad shit, that's fine. I just would like it if you had some constructive criticism instead of just saying they suck. Because I see too much, they suck, they're bad. All right, well, tell me what you would have done differently. Give me a little bit more of the moves you want to see and all that kind of stuff. That's all I'm asking. I know I can't change how people are as fans. That'd be crazy to think, right? I can just tell you what's on my mind and how I would like to be a fan. Because it does harken back to that great ride we had in 2016 where I'm like, man, these people must have been terrible to be around when we were down 2-1 to the Dodgers or 3-1 in the World Series. You know, they must have been so bad to be around. And again, I'm not saying you don't get to enjoy it when we do win, but just know that the people who fucking truly believe, they get the high fives more. They get to enjoy it a little bit more than you. You just have to admit that. I really believe that. And as far as Adbert goes, he's a great example. Cody, I'm glad we're leading off with Adbert. Good call there. Mm-hmm. I saw so many people being like, why is he in the rotation after his first start? Why is Adbert? Shelby Miller should be here. Alec Mills, why? Like, everyone's just trashing the guy. I'm like, it's one start. He's going to hopefully start at least 20 to 25 of them. You know, there's probably an innings limit on him because of the short and weird season last year. But again, it's one start. That's the thing I can't get my head around either. It's like these people have never watched baseball before. It's like it's a 162 game season. People are going to have good starts, and even the best pitchers. DeGrom lost to the fucking Cubs not last year in 2019. That guy was destroying everyone. The 2019 Cubs, who missed the playoffs, beat DeGrom. So again, do you guys not comprehend that? I thought his stuff was fantastic. You know what I mean? Everyone talks about the starters not throwing hard. He was mid 90s, 94, 95, mostly with the fastball, but a lot of movement, a lot of sink, so he doesn't even need to be upper 90s. The sixth inning is where he got into a little trouble. It's tough. You know what I mean? Because when Ross first came out, I was a little bit like, his pitch count's a little low. I kind of want to see what he could do here. But in the same regard, it was more than
just a little low, man. It was like, he didn't 70 pitches yet. And
was it like 60 something? I thought it was
60. When he came out, he had 68. And again, not to interrupt what you were saying.
No, I think
I'll just say my 2 cents on that is like, I know matchups are a thing at that point, and people always like to harp on, the third time through the lineup, that kind of stuff. So from that standpoint, I guess I can understand. And no matter what, David Ross is going to get criticized for that if, he leaves Adbert in there, but Adbert's the one who gives up the hits, and the Cubs give up the lead. So no matter what, it's a lose-lose situation. unless, of course, Adler gets out of it and there's no situation at all. But you know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
true. But no,
So,
that you're
yeah.
right. And if I could add to that, I understood the move. And I said on the podcast yesterday that I think Ross has done a very good job because the main job with a young manager, again, we're fucking just on our 10th game and he's had 69 or 70 now regular season games in his career. So anyway, I get the frustrations, everyone. I'm watching the same shit you are. But that's my point. I'm like, are you just going to watch every day and say the same old shit every day? Like, I don't know. Again, do what you want to do. I just think there's a more fun approach. I believe that Ross pulled him because he thought, hey, it's 1-0 still, and he's pitched great. His stuff was nasty. I want him leaving that mound with his head high with some confidence.
Right.
And I think that's a really smart move for a young pitcher who is looking like he could be a mainstay in this rotation for the next 5 or 6 years. So I'm totally cool with that, And so many of you are already writing off the season anyway. So wouldn't this be a move you like? A move that's like builds his confidence?
Yeah.
Because you're looking big picture in the future and all this kind of stuff. I just think that's the
Right.
way it's going. What's up, Obvious Shirts? By the way, what a great product.
Yeah, shout out to Joe. Thanks for joining the stream, man. Anyway, to go off what you're saying about Aber, I mean, yeah, he was great tonight, and even in the first start, he wasn't bad. He just gave up 2 long balls. I mean, he still was managed to get through 5 in that start. And a lot of what we saw in the first 5-6 innings, whatever it was before the Brewers had that 6-run inning, was a lot of what I kind of said about how the Brewers and the Cubs play each other. It's a lot of strikeouts, a lot of just, honestly, it's just really, really, really freaking boring baseball because there's no action because both teams just strike out a shit ton, and the most action you get is when someone hits a home run. And we got that out of Chris Bryant, and we were up 1-0. We were feeling good. And, you can blame Ross. You can blame Andrew Chafin for giving up an extra 3 runs. But I think it still comes down to just the offense not doing more, man. Like Chris Bryant hit the home run, and then I'm pretty sure Peralta struck out the side. Like he struck out the next 3 guys right after Chris Bryant hit, and it's just like I don't know, man. And
there is something to the plate approach. Someone in the comments said, when was the last time a Cub hitter went the opposite way? Great question. I've thought about that a little bit too, and it might have been Nico Horner in a spring training game. If I'm going off the top of my head, it is something with the approach. I feel like Peralta is such a guy who fires across his body, where he's a righty, but that outside corner pitch looks almost further outside, but it is catching the corner. And because I know Contreras looked on a couple where it's like, come on. And the strike zone got a little wide on occasion, but I feel like that probably evened out for both sides overall. It usually does. It's not an excuse. I am questioning the approach. You know what they're having right now? And I've seen this with Cubs teams in the past. Fortunately, Cubs teams a very long time ago. The teams were like on paper, you're like, they should be pretty competitive, but you weren't really like all in with your heart. You weren't like going to Vegas going, I'm betting on them. But, every year or so, there's a team where you're like, on paper, maybe, I don't know. We got Carlos Pena, Marlon Byrd. Maybe, you know what I mean? But I'm going to watch them. It should be fun. Like that kind of, like maybe that era.
Yeah.
What they're having right now is that nothing seems to be going their way in the sense that when they do, like the pitching has to be perfect. Or what I've noticed is you have a guy like Chafin who had looked outstanding. And we all know baseball's a law of averages. So I've always thought as a baseball fan, whenever I hear like this pitcher that the Cubs are about to face is 0 in his last 6 with a 6 ERA, I always go, fuck. Because he's not going to continue that way. He's a major league arm. He's probably going to go 7 strong against us. Because isn't that the way things seem to go? Whenever I hear I don't want to face a team scuffling. It's kind of
like every time I feel like a reliever comes in against the Cubs and it says that he has like a 5 or 6 ERA, and it seems like 9 times out of 10 that guy goes on to have a clean inning against the Cubs. Like I feel like it happens all the time.
It does, right?
Yeah.
And what I was going to add to that too, before I got sidetracked with the greater point about like it seems like things are going wrong all the time, was that Chafin had been hot, and then he has the bad outing with runners on base, and then it's like it seems to be the pitches right down the middle, they're just missing because there's timings off. The breaking balls they're way out in front of and hitting foul. And there's nothing in sync about this team right now. Javi's throwing a ball 18 feet above Anthony's head.
Throwing his bat all the way out to the pitcher's mound.
Yeah. And when the other team hits a ground ball, it always finds a hole. Our hard hit ground balls go right at people. There's just something. And still through all this, 4-6. Again, I'm always going to look for a silver lining. I know fans are going to be like, it's been years of this. I've never been one of those people that's like, oh, this happened a year ago, so therefore it's going to happen again. You know what I mean? I know it's a lot of the same team. I just grew up when people were like, same old Cubs. I saw this in 1969. I remember hearing old men at bars refer to the 2003 Cubs being like, I saw this in 69. And I'm like, what do you mean you saw it? They're like, oh, them blowing it. And I'm like, what does that fucking have to do with this? That was like 35 years apart, and you're telling I just hate that type of thinking, and I think that is the lovable loser thinking. Right. I had a few people accuse me on that tweet we did from Cubbies on Tap that went Cubs Twitter viral. That I'm one of the lovable loser Cub fans because I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and I'm ignoring the fact that they're bad or whatever. Let me just remind you guys though, that you should drink the Kool-Aid because it makes the champagne taste sweeter. If you get my drift on that. I think there's nothing wrong with fans sticking by their team, even stupidly so, because I'd rather be in that situation than to be one of those fans. Because I've already heard a few fans say, because I've said, I'm sticking around for all 162. And I've had a couple people on Twitter be like, well, more power to you because I'm not watching this bullshit. I'm like, all right, fine, don't watch this bullshit. But then when we're good, you're going to come back. We got a word for that, don't we, Cody? That's called a fair weather fan.
Yeah, bandwagon. Yeah. A lot. I mean, you've been preaching a lot lately, especially during this tough first 10 games. But I was through the off season, especially because all the negative news and everything, after the Darvish trade, everyone freaked out. I was kind of someone who kind of let it all kind of play out, let it sit in my soul for a day and a half, whatever. And I think that, with all of that, on top of how this 4-6 start has happened, I think that's why a lot of fans have just kind of jumped ship already. And again, I still think that's dumb because it's like despite this, we have definitely seen worse Cubs teams. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know. You're right on the approach on the offense and everything right now. And I just don't know what they got to do to get out of the funk, man. I feel bad that Chris Bryant's the only one getting hits. He's in a contract year and he's got great OPS, great batting average and everything, but at the end of the day, there's still going to be some idiot in the offseason. It's like, oh, this guy only had 50 RBIs though. Well, yeah, because there's no one on base for him and shit like that. And that's that's what the trend looks like for him right now. And so
3 home runs and 5 RBIs. That tells you no one's on base.
Exactly. So I'm just, it's just all really a mess right now in terms of the offense. And I knew it wasn't getting any easier after leaving Pittsburgh. And that's why I thought winning those games at Pittsburgh were so crucial. To at least get some confidence going. And here we are. Now the Cubs have to face Brandon Woodruff tomorrow, who almost no-hit them, or at least took a no-hitter into the 6th or 7th inning in the last start. And it's not going to get any easier.
I mean, yeah, getting easier. I don't know what it is because it's so clearly mental to me. That's why I had to try to remind people that good teams lose to bad teams every year. Every year, there's going to be a Baltimore Oriole team that takes 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, and Yankee fans are going to be like, how did this happen? Every year. I was reminded by someone on Twitter the other day that the 2016 Cubs, who won 103 games, lost 9 times to the 70-win Brewers. The Brewers won 70 games in 2016. We lost 9 times to them, and we were the best team in baseball record-wise and really run differential and all that stuff, right? Yeah. What is it going to take to snap them out of this? I don't know. And that's the thing too. Maybe I'm just too empathetic. Maybe it's the comedian / performer in me. And a lot of it, and look, fans listening, I feel like we got some good numbers right now. And I've been getting some buzz on Cubs Twitter, which cracks me up. I'll be straight with you guys. I do personally know I'm not good friends. I'm good friends with a former Cub player, but as far as the current team goes, I've met a handful of them. I have performed stand-up comedy twice at Anthony Rizzo's charity event, so I will never say a bad word about that man ever. I think he's still a guy you extend, give him 5 years, $100 million or so. You will never regret paying a person who's done that much for your franchise and who does that much for the community. He's a slow starter right now. But his whole career has been a slow April starter. And at the end of the year, the numbers are always good. I'm not counting that Mickey Mouse season last year. His 2019 from 2014 through 2019, those numbers were elite. And I believe he'll be there at the end of this season. But we're talking about Chris Bryant answering the call of contract year, putting up some good early numbers so far. Look at this from a human side. These guys want to be putting up good numbers. They're all playing for their next big contract. Javi, right. KB is answering the call. Rizzo, Jock Peterson, Craig Kimbrell's being great right now. Even guys like it's a lot of people on the trade block. All right, Andrew Chafin. Obvious shirts. I love you. I don't know if you made a Chafin shirt yet, but he could be traded too. Like a lot of these guys are Zach Davies, who I still am confident overall in. But a lot of these guys, they want to be kicking ass. They want to do well. What do I think they need to do to fix things? I don't know. Get vaccinated and go to a freaking strip club. There's one not too far from Miller Park, I think. I don't know what they got to do. There's some intensity. I'm Cody. I know I'm rambling a lot here, but I really think some of it goes back to the disrespect of lowballing Anthony Rizzo and that news breaking on opening day, because they look like a fun squad in spring training, didn't they? They all look like they're having a good time. And I think there was something about that kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. And then it made them think, well, fuck it. If this is how this team is going to treat this guy who's meant so much to the fans and the organization, then I'm out for me right now, because I can't rely on them. Exactly. I really feel like that kind of just set a ripple effect up and down that clubhouse. And I think Ross is doing his best job to set that right. We got the COVID thing going right now with a few players, and it's just been like an up and down thing. I think we're fortunate to be 4-6, and I still believe it's baseball, right? We've seen it happen a million times before. You get a bloop, a blast, you squeak out a win, and all of a sudden you start feeling good and they start to roll. And that's what I'm really hoping happens. And if it doesn't work out that way, I suggest to the fans, enjoy the shit out of what is left of this core from 2016, because you're never going to see them together again. And that's going to dawn on you, and it's going to hit you, and it's going to suck. And you're going to wish maybe you would have enjoyed their last, this is a TV show I'm watching. This could be the last season with this SNL cast, if you want to compare it to some stupid analogy I'm trying to make here. But you get me. I'm sorry, Cody. I've been rambling too much.
You're good, man. I will say this. Yesterday, I harped about this past weekend. I harped on Javi Baez for his approach and everything, and he was pretty bad tonight. But I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, that his last at bat in the 9th inning tonight will click with him moving forward, because he was down 0-2. Then he got a ball in the dirt that he shockingly didn't swing at, and then he got a fastball high and away, and he didn't swing at that either. And then he looped one down the line, and it's almost like it looked like everything that I've been complaining about for the last week and a half, man. It's one at bat, and the Cubs were down 6-1. So the guy that was in, I know our broadcast, they were saying that, hey, the Brewers are high on this guy, but I mean, after that hit, they brought Josh Hader in, which also I think is a pro for the Cubs in terms of tomorrow. Now the Hader pitched tonight. Who knows if he pitches tomorrow? He didn't throw that many pitches, but still, I'm sure Craig Counsell was hoping that he wasn't going to have to use Hader when his team's up 6-1. So if there's any, I'm pointing out the positives just from this game. I would say that last at bat from Baez. I also thought Justin Steele was pretty good. In his inning.
Congrats to him.
Yeah, his MLB debut. A lot of the prospects on Cubs Twitter were congratulating him and stuff, it was just nice to see. Especially with all the negative tweets that you keep bringing up and stuff. And then, I don't even really want to talk about this either, but Casey Sogard was trending on Cubs Twitter tonight for reasons that, again, I don't want to talk about, but she was just bringing the vibes even farther down. So, yeah, man, if there's any other positives from this, feel free to throw them out there. But, Chris Bryant, that last at bat from Javi, I thought the bullpen outside of Chafin was was good, and Adbert was great, and I think at the very least with Adbert, going in his next start, he's got that confidence now, and now we can feel good with him going in. Yeah, so it's just tough because it's when the Cubs have lost, it has not looked good. I mean, it's not even close games. I mean, it was 6-1 going to the ninth inning, man. And I think that's the thing that a lot of fans are really just like really disheartened about, because it's like, dude, we're not losing like 2-1 or like 3-1. And like, in our offense, like we're losing 7-1, 8-2, 6-3 tonight. Like I just don't know. I'm with you. It's April and there's still a lot of time, but
all the games were close until the last series, the last two losses against the Pirates. It's funny. We won the first game of the Pittsburgh series. Still the offense didn't really do much, but we hit a couple home runs and they won. And you're thinking, all right, we're 4-3 and then 4-4, 4-5, and now 4-6. You were thinking if we took 2 out of 3 from that series, we would have walked away being 5-3 and being like, all right, cool, Right. But it just didn't work out. Some people are mentioning like there's Kazuna 77. I'm sorry. He goes, the point we don't seem to get is that maybe they won't snap out of it. Maybe it's just who they are. Hey man, maybe you're right. Maybe it is just who they are. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I'm here for all 162 and I'm going to try to look for positives where I can. And then we could talk about the future when that time comes. I can't believe I'm even bringing this up, but dude, I did get a hater. I did get a hater. There's a few people I'm sure who didn't like my rant that was posted today on Cubbies on Tap.
So obviously, since I run the account, like I was getting all the notifications, and there was one guy. I screenshot his tweet. Here, I'll read it to you right now, just for shit. I won't mention his name, even though I don't give a shit either way.
I'm debating about whether or not to, because I want to be the bigger person, but it's getting tough right now because there's been some follow up where it's like, you called me out, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, come on, I'm human. I'm gonna. Also, he's playing a dangerous game. This kid. This kid's playing a dangerous game. He's trying to build up a Cubs following and all that shit. And I'm not saying I'm anybody in this world, but dude, Go ahead.
This guy says, "Attention Cubs Twitter," because I said "Attention Cubs Twitter" in the caption. He said, "Attention Cubs Twitter. These words means nothing. Lol. Watch me live stream all the Cubs games and have real, genuine reactions every play. Not just root for them when they're good. It's about being real and authentic. Something this guy's comedy doesn't know." Is that the guy that you were talking about?
Yes. Yeah. So let me address that. He called out my comedy. He must have clicked on my profile and saw I was a stand-up comedian, right?
Yeah.
So fuck you, dude, for going personal, which is why I'm tempted to throw his name out there, right?
Well, he doesn't deserve the clout, to be honest with you.
He doesn't deserve the clout. And I got into a debate with someone a week or two ago, someone who I've mostly gotten along with, I feel like. I don't think I've ever had anything with him before. But I did get into a debate with someone about quote tweeting people and whether that's right or not and all this kind of thing. And then Jason Isbell, the country singer I kind of like, I like his stuff. I don't know a lot of it, but the songs I know I like. He quote tweeted someone and someone's like, you shouldn't even respond. And he goes, no, the guy wanted my attention. He got it. Maybe he can't handle Twitter. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I hear ya. So part of me is like, maybe I should fuck back with this guy. But again, like you said, he went after us.
Yeah.
Then went after my comedy specifically, so he made it personal, right? Also, totally didn't understand the clip. No. He made it seem like I will give you real reaction, not just comment when they're good, like this person. In what world did I convey that I was someone who only comments on the Cubs when they're good? My problem was the giving shit to people who turn their back on them when they're not good.
Right. Exactly.
So that really pissed me off.
I'm one of those guys that when I see those kinds of dumb tweets, I go and look at their page myself. And I went to his page and he quote tweeted someone who I don't know if it was a sarcastic tweet or not, but some guy's tweet says, thanks, Trash Cubs, for cleaning up my summer. I hope you lose 150 games. Trash players on the spineless team of quitters. I wish you all the worst. Fuck shit, Chicago, and fuck the Cubs. And he just quote tweeted that saying, yeah, pretty much, LOL. So like it didn't really make sense with the tweet that he put you down for. And so I honestly thought about screenshotting his tweet and then that tweet I just read and then just posting it on our Twitter account. And then I was just like, nah, we're good.
We're good, but I do want to. I gotta. I mean, we covered the game so far. We try to keep these post games to 25 to 30 minutes for you, everyone. And thanks so much for people listening. All these great comments. I'm such a big fan of what Obvious Shirts does. Just so many cool shirts. So definitely check them out. Everyone else, someone wrote Free Nico. Hopefully soon. I hear you, man. Thanks everyone for checking it out. But if it's going to be a long, rough season, we're going to have some fun like this, Cody. And this fucking guy, dude. So I shouldn't have gone back toward him, but I feel like I was being cool enough. He then responds with, Joe, clearly you don't know what I'm about, dude. You live in a bubble, which is weird for me to say that. Watch the tape and chill the fuck out. What tape is he telling me to watch? His tape? By the way, everyone, he does a thing in which he broadcasts alongside the Cubs. I'll read it to you. Why not? I'll give him a free fucking plug. It's called Fancast TV Chicago Cubs, in which it's like an alternative to Boog and JD. Yeah. All right. If you want to fucking shoot yourself in the third inning, go listen to that garbage. He's Michael. Fuck it. I'll say his name. He's Michael Cubs fan in quotes. Mike Santoria. Anyway, so he basically says, all I do is offer constructive criticism that your delusions can't understand. Trade everyone, rebuild, fire Jed, and in 5 years, we'll talk about competing the right way. Talk about competing the right way. Okay. Because the fucking World Series, 3 NLCSs in a row, playoffs 5 out of 6 years. That wasn't the right way to do it. You know what I mean? There are these fucking people out there who are dynasty or bust. And the fact that the Cubs weren't a dynasty, they're looking at the whole thing like it's a failure. And to those people, fuck you. Okay. I hope you get priced out of going to Cubs games. I don't mean that because there's probably nice families who deserve to go more, but like, we don't need you. And I will do all I can to drive you out of the fan base. And then he follows up with, when I tell him, he's talking shit. So I was just like, dude, you're an idiot if you think they need that kind of rebuild. And you are an idiot. If you're listening and you think the Cubs need a rebuild so drastic that maybe in 5 years they compete again. They won the division last year. And you're telling me that they now need something so drastic that maybe in 5 years they can compete. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot, dude. Because they have $50 million committed in payroll next year, highest ticket prices in baseball, huge market. They have their own TV network that needs ratings to survive. You know what I mean? It's not a subscription thing. I can't just pay for the app or something like that. So they need they need ratings, right? And they've got young guys still with Nico, Hap, Contreras under contract for a year or so. And they've got all these people trade chips. So even if you're saying they got to rebuild this year, all the trade chips, they're going to have about 100 million or so money, 100 to 150 million to spend next year. Even more, really. You could argue more. And they've got Adbert progressing, hopefully. Braylon Marquez, we should look at by the end of the year. Brennan Davis hopefully keeps going in the path that he's going in, right? And then you have a nice international signing class with Christian Hernandez leading that. A couple of the teenagers from San Diego are going to come along and maybe use those guys as trade bait, which Jed Hoare even hinted at. So I don't understand. And then all these fucking Cub fans out there who are like, glad Theo's gone. Jed better be great. Do you understand how long we went from having competent people in charge? That's why the smart fans were so devastated that Theo left, even though we still have some faith in Jed, because Theos don't grow on fucking trees, my friends. They don't. And listen, dude, the guy then follows up. He goes, you are a fucking idiot, bro. STFU. How do good, all caps, baseball rebuilds work? How did the Cubs rebuild work the last time? It worked great, you fucking moron. It worked fucking great. Hold on. I'll show you guys how great it fucking worked. You see that over there? That's the Cubs Game 7 mural in which it's the highlights. It says World Series champions in the fucking middle. That's how the Cubs rebuild worked last time, you dipshit. Fucking moron. How did it work last time? How dumb. Like, literally, how dumb does a person have to be to say something like that? Yeah. How did it work last time? I hope. How did your dad not pulling out work? It worked terribly for the fucking rest of us. Because here you are, 20, maybe 4 years later, trying to build a career as a Cubs broadcaster, talking shit to people who could fucking stomp you out, dude. Don't forget this. Don't forget this, everyone. Okay? I might look like, because I've got that, the blue eyes, maybe the pale skin, I'm a comedian. I might look like maybe I'm from the suburbs. I'm fucking not. And no offense to people from the suburbs. A lot of great people out there from the burbs. But I'm not, motherfucker. All right? I'm not. I'm from the city. Okay? And I grew up fighting people for fucking fun. All right? So don't fucking come at me like shut the fuck up, bro. Like you would do something. Okay.
You're
You don't
also a
like what I
dad with
said,
like 2 kids. I mean, I feel like you take anyone on, man.
dude. I swear to God, it makes like I would fucking love it. I would love it. Fucking ridiculous. So
Um,
yeah, I'm delusional. And then you go, right, I didn't finish this. You're a fucking
okay.
delusional guy for real. Give me a break. I'll do whatever, whenever talking about this. How did the Sox rebuild work? Think outside the box. Is he talking about the White Sox? Because I don't know yet how their rebuild has worked. It's still in the process. Also, they had the same record as the Cubs entering today. I don't know what the White Sox did. They were 3-3 in the seventh last time I checked. Maybe they won. I don't know.
I have no
Also,
idea.
buddy, plenty of good seats available on the South Side. There's good 3,000 seat tickets available if you want to move the fuck over there. Again, Cody, I'm talking way too much and we'll end it on this. But again, if you're going to, it's like as a comedian, when someone heckles, I obviously don't like hecklers, but I will destroy you. The hard hecklers to destroy are the ones who are so stupid. The rest of the audience is like, what the fuck did they just say? And I feel like this guy, if anyone else is reading this, is like, what is this dude talking about? Because he's not making sense. How did the Cubs rebuild work? Successful. How did the Sox rebuild work? I don't know. Still in progress. So I don't know what he's on about, man.
Yeah. No, I
Didn't mean to go all
again,
straight with you guys, but
no, you're
to.
good. You're good. I think the people enjoy it. The comments just keep flowing in. One guy, he said, I showed it already. He said, good news. We still have time to iron things out. It's running out, but not all hope is lost yet. Like to see
Thanks,
that
bud.
positiveness. One guy that we've already kind of mentioned, he did say he loves the Christian Hernandez signing. And he's actually really excited about him and Ed Howard in the future. And that's kind of why yesterday, when we did yesterday's recap, I said that I would honestly be okay if, Javi Baez isn't around next year, because I think we have such great shortstop depth in the system. And, if we have to sign some guy for cheap for 1 year, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm okay with the idea at least. And just to end on it, Garrett from Iowa. I know Garrett from Iowa for a long time. This guy, I think he's appreciative of your rant there, Joe. So,
oh, good. What part of Iowa is Garrett from? My mom lives in Cedar Rapids.
All I know, he lives in some really small town in Iowa. I think because he listens to Skies Falling, and I think we asked him one time, and he wouldn't tell us because he didn't want anyone to come after him because he lives in such a small town.
Oh, okay, I got you. We won't tell him that.
Yeah, so we're around 32 minutes now, so I want to wrap it up, man. But I guess to preview tomorrow's game a little bit, like I said earlier, it's Kyle Hendricks against Brandon Woodruff. It's going to be a tough one. Predictions at this current moment, bet the under, just because it's going to be just like the last game where that those two faced off. I mean, these are the number ones for both teams. Yeah, I think it's gonna be another tough night for the Cubs offense unless something clicks. But again, like I've said against the Brewers and the Cubs, it's like whoever scores first, they're gonna have the advantage because both teams' bullpen's really good. Whoever gets on that starter first, I thought that was the Cubs tonight. They just couldn't score more than one run, man. So
yeah, I want 7 innings strong from Kyle Hendricks. I am going to say Cubs win 4-2. Someone random, maybe not random, but someone out of the big 3 or 4 hits a home run. Maybe Jock Peterson connects with his second one. He hits like a 3-run shot. Maybe we'll be down 2-1. He hits a 3-run shot. Maybe it'll be like that game last year where Hayward hit a 3-run homer and then Vargas added one. So I think something like that. But yeah, just got to get the players laughing and having fun again. And I think that's the real tough task ahead for the Cubs this season. I really think, again, no qualms about this. I'll end on this. And you could have the last word, Cody. The front office made some mistakes by not getting at least one extension done. Because if they would have given a good faith, a true offer to Rizzo, I really feel like Javi and KB would be like, all right, maybe there's something for us to play for, all that kind of stuff. And they would feel it because I really think these guys love playing here. This was these were their 20s, these guys. I mean, Javi's 28, KB's 29, Rizzo's 31. They should be playing in their primes. They should be still producing at a very high level. But I think there's some sort of maybe like this is like a senior year thing for them where they're like, I don't want to graduate yet. But in the same regard, I'm ready to move on because this high school doesn't just respect me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be something we're going to be talking about all season unless the Cubs actually find a way to get this thing done. And I just don't know if it is at least in season. So I think that's a good way to end it. I want to remind everyone to head on over to ontapsportsnet.com, get all your Chicago sports needs. You can follow me on Twitter at Cody on Tap. You can follow Joe at Joe Kilgallen. Go check out his TikTok as well. I'm on TikTok at the same handle. We're both very funny on TikTok. I'm just going to point that out. What
and
else?
Hey, Mike, that Mike guy, go fuck yourself.
Well, are you talking about the guy from the tweets that you were reading earlier?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mike Cubs fan in quotes.
Mike Cubs fan in quotes. Fuck you. I don't think I have anything else. If you're watching live and you missed most of it, podcast is going to be up soon. So with that said, Joe, let's get out here the only way we know how. Let's go Cubs.